Hi everyone, Keyless Entry here. Just gonna give a crack at doing a bit of a DIY little series. I've just been watching a lot of videos, and the hot topic at the moment is about picks and pick designs. I watched Dark Arts Lockpicking's last video, and he asked a very good question on where do we see picks in the future. You know, are there enough designs and variations of designs, or can we go further and create something radical, something new? I think he also mentioned that the last big thing was the bow guitar, and then the hybrid picks like this Medusa here, which you can use as a rake, spin it around and use it as a hook. Sorry, just having some wake up juice, some coffee. So basically, I've gotten into that a little bit. So I wanted to make a Nessie, but can't really afford it at the moment. I got the Medusa, which is very similar to the Nessie. The Nessie just has an extra little profile back here. So I've created this so far. So sort of getting there. But there was a bit of talk on Discord on how to transfer your designs or whatever you have, your prototypes, onto metal. So you can use any metal, you know, you can use a steel ruler. I'm not going to use that one because it's got an awesome conversion table on it, but you can, if you have the patience, you can use a stainless bread knife, butter knife, whatever, feeler gauge material, anything. So there's a lot of material out there. I've gone the lazy way and bought these blanks from Sparrows. You've got the do-it-yourself rake, the do-it-yourself let me get it off, hooks, and they come in 3 packs, as you can see here, and they got the wide handle ones as well. I bought these because I didn't want to scratch up my Sandman and my Medusa, so I wanted to recreate them in there. Now, one technique I found really handy, because I was having a bit of trouble transferring the designs over, and what I was using was just a Sharpie to line up. So for example, I'll grab one of these out. I'll grab one of these out. So for example, you know, I was just laying pick over, it's a blank, pick over the blank, maybe the other way would be better, just lining up the stem and just going over with a Sharpie. Just give a quick example here. I don't use editing software or anything like that, so just have to bear with me, otherwise I would speed this process up, or I would have it cut up into separate parts. But I am looking into heading into that direction, so bear with me. So you know, you do your Sharpie around there. This is not a real fine tip one, but it's the only one I got. And that leaves you a basic but not very clear design. So it's a starting point. It's an excellent starting reference. You know, you get rid of all your black material, and then. But I found a better way to do that. So I'll try to get rid of this black stuff here. What I'd sort of because there was a talk on Discord about this, and it got me thinking. So I just get some black electrical tape. You know, this is just stuff lying around the house. You know, you don't have to go out and get a scanner or you know whatever machine. You know, this is just simple stuff lying around the house. So I just get some electrical tape, chuck it on the end there, and with a blade, just to get a razor blade, just go around and cut off the excess. See, this is where speed up would really help. So I appreciate your patience, guys, if you're still watching. Basically, I try to take off as much as I can, just so I've got the tape sitting on the blank itself and not anywhere else, because that is a little bit important, but just for lining things up. I'll go from this way actually. So I was doing this the other day, not in front of the camera, and I was doing fine. It's just like my lock picking. It never happens on camera. Excuses, eh? So yeah, so you just want to take off the excess stuff. Doesn't have to be super neat, as long as you get it. I'm just gonna actually pull that bit off. So that's just a rough example there. So then what I will do is place what I want over it. So it's really important to make sure the stems line up, and the, you know, you don't want it on an angle like that. You know, you want it line up with the handle so it's in its original position. And you just place it over the blank or whatever material you're using. And then, you know, you can use pliers, vice grips, you can do it in hand, but I found that it's a lot easier doing it in a vise. So when you put it into your vise, don't do it up all the way, just leave enough wiggle room in there for little fine adjustments, and then tighten it up so you don't damage anything. I've got the rubber mounts on here, so no damage will be done. And then what I do, I get the same blade and just go over that tape as close to the design as I can that I want. There are a few curves on here, so this one's a little bit tricky. And by the end of this, hopefully what you should have left, then you peel off the black tape, and then what you should have left is a identical image, so it could look a virtual print of the pick. So I'm just trying to take my time so I can do this properly. I usually spend quite a bit of time doing this part because this is the most crucial part, I guess. Well, it is the most crucial part, no doubt. Full stop. Trying to cut my finger off. And there. I mean, that's just a rough two-minute job, but you probably want to spend about, a good 5 minutes on that, trying to get the best cut on there. And then I'll just get my razor blade and try to peel off. Oop, I want to leave that bit on there. Don't have to come off. So you've got to be a bit careful with it. Okay. And there we've got a much better, it's a little bit still on there. So now we've got a much closer profile. So it still needs a little bit of cutting after that first hump there. So yeah, you sort of get the idea. I think that's a really excellent way of trying to duplicate your design over to steel. So yeah, I guess that's just a little quick, cost-effective way of doing it. If you don't have picks like this, I found that there's little paddle pop sticks made of wood. They're really good to make prototypes out of, and you get the shape of that and just do the exact same thing. What I did there onto your blank or to your feeler gauge or to whatever material you wish to use for your pick, and this gives you a really good line, on the profile. Now, when I make picks, I'm in the process of making some, so I've got one here that I've sort of started. This will be, I'm planning on making this into a Nessie, so this will be a like a Medusa base, and then there will be a little extra hump back here to replicate the Nessie. So I'm not stealing anyone's idea. It's just I've seen various variations of it. I've seen a bump back here with a flatter profile, and someone called it a crocodile. And yeah, I mean, like I've learned all these profiles and all these different tricks from watching videos. So I just thought I'd share a bit as well and sort of give back to the community. Because I've learned so much. I've only been making videos for a couple of months now, I think, or just over a couple of months, and I just love this community. So yeah, then you can use your Dremel tool. So I like to use you can first use a cutter to cut away the excess material. What I like to do is put little slots in first, and when you're using this on a Dremel, always quench in water, because when you heat up the steel too much, it does weaken. I've heard. Not sure that's entirely true, but it's best to be safe than sorry. So I usually put little nicks in it, just short of that black line, and then I'll go over and just get rid of each one, like tink tink tink, so they will just come down. Same for the top, and then I would use a wheel as they get closer and closer to that black line. And then I'll probably at that I just killed my microphone, and there goes the camera. Then I'll bust out my files. I'll put this in a vise, bust out my files, and start working on there, and then working on the sandpaper, and just creating any pick that you want, really. So yeah, that's my little DIY guide there. With these as well, you can stack these up to make a fatter cut as well. So I've only got one on there at the moment with a little sanding disc on the front there. So when you are doing your pick, you can sort of, when you've got the Dremel running, you can sort of chuck it on the side there, and it'll ground down a bit of material too, instead of trying to do it that way. That's a bit of a tip too. There's all sorts of pick designs out there on the internet. I've just got 3 examples here. I've shown these on a previous video. So you've got all these, and you got these here as well. I believe these here are the Prince and Princess profiles. I'm gonna have a shot at making them maybe in an upcoming video once I get some editing software. But I have been working on one that I used from here. I used the bottom profile and just put some tape over it, and there's my blank for it. Did I leave somewhere? Mr. Organised. And then I'd put that up to the light. I'd put some electrical tape over that, and put that up to the light, and align that up, and then stick it down. So yeah, first I'll cut around this, just sort of laminate it. I'll put tape over it, and then just replicate what I showed you earlier. You don't have to spend lots and lots of money. You don't have to have a Dremel tool. You can do it with files, but Dremel tools are expensive. Like the original Dremel, I've just bought a knockoff one, just a cheap Azito one. It's a very variable speed. Works well. So it's gonna bloody take off on me. But yeah, it's just a knockoff one, and for about $15 at Bunnings. Just got a whole bunch of accessories with it. Little sanding things, the wire brushes, polishing, sanding barrels, cutting discs. You don't have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I think all that together cost me around $55. So that's a pretty good deal. If you want to get your picks really, really, really shiny, I found this product here, Autosol Metal Polish. I've got an example here. I'm just making a padlock for someone here. It's Assa Abloy 12050, and what I've been doing is sanding it down. So what these usually look like is it's got those marks like that in there, and I've gone over with 1200 up to I think 800 or 1200 on this, and it comes out really, really good once you get that compound on there. I'm not sure if you can see that. That's pretty bloody shiny. I have got some 2000 grit because there are some scratches going up and down on there, but that's just sort of a look on. Yeah, that's just by hand, and you can put a buffing wheel on your Dremel as well to speed things up. Yeah, but this stuff is really, really good if you want to get a high mirror shine on anything. I recommend this. Alright guys, that was part 1 of my DIY. Let me know what you think. I want to do some more on making pins and challenge locks and handles and that sort of stuff. So yeah, just let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.